So it's another day right here in the Volta region, and we're here at Fort
Prinzenstein.
I had to let him say that, yeah. And so we're about touring this entire facility, get some history, get into how this fort came into being and all of that. What else are we doing here?
Yes, we're about, like you said, we're about to explore the place. You know, there are several of these forts and castles along the coastal areas of Ghana, and it's testament to the existence of our colonial masters. So we want to go inside and find out what it was like here in Keta as well when this was built. So should we go check it out?
All right, let's go inside. Let's go. Hello, sir.
Yes, you are welcome to Fort Prinzenstein.
Thank you
The
so
only
much.
fort in the Volta region of Ghana.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so the fort was put up by the Danes, Denmark in 1784.
Okay.
They started the construction from 1700 to 1784. So it took them 84 years to complete the fort.
Wow.
So the Danes were buying slaves from Togo. You know, Togo is closer. Benin, Nigeria, and other part of Gold Coast, now Ghana. So those enslaved Africans were then marched on foot, barefooted, half naked, into the fort over here. And they were kept over here for a month or two before being transported to America, Danish West Indies, the Caribbeans. So each of the dungeons hold up to 100 slaves. But initially there was no ventilation. So ventilation was created by the British, who occupied the fort after the Danes left. So inside the dungeon, the slaves defecate, urinate, sleep there, and they were dying through insanity condition. Even the water, they will pour it under the door. They have to use their tongue to lick it.
Wow.
Food was thrown to them through the window, and finally they used red hot iron with the name of the company on it to burn marks at the various part of their body for identification.
Wow.
And the trade by then was so persuasive that even the smallest community, they have to go on a war path in order to secure slaves, to get arms to defend themselves when attacked. And unfortunate one find their way to the slave market that we have, Atoko.
Okay.
So the Atoko slave market is just like how Asimanso, Salaga, Sandema, Bono Manso, Pikro, Tetekrachi slave market is. So the slaves were put on display, and they were sold to the highest bidders. And they also used shea butter, palm oil to rub body of the slave just to make them very attractive to the buyers.
So basically they were treated like goods and products.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Samori Babatus in the north, raiding, kidnapping, and all those slaves were brought into the fort and finally transported out of the fort. So when the slaves arrived, they opened their mouth to estimate their age by the state of their teeth.
Wow.
Children and younger slaves were counted as quarter, half to 10 pieces of cargo, depending upon the estimated commercial value. So they can make 3 children, price of 1 adult slave. So we are going around to have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's already getting emotional. I mean, with this brief history already.
Yeah, so over here, this is the ocean blocks.
Okay.
This is why they buy them, selected them, and physically examine them over here before finally transporting them out of the fort.
Interesting. But I see
And so in crossover, that's the male portion of the fort. So the shrine, this is a worshiping place for ancestors. They say no, they will not allow them to put up the fort. So what happened? The chief of the town was killed. Toby Degeni was killed. That leads to our people moving from here to where they are now, Agbozuma. So when they are moving from here, they left their shrine and other items over here. Even the stool, the seat was using, was also taken from him. It was have been kept over here till today. So we are seeing it over here.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's quickly.
All right.
So over here, this is why the female slave bath. So the governor have the chance of selecting them from the top, pointing at the one he admires, sleep with them. That resulted into the mulattoes you have in Keta. You see, light skin people.
Okay.
And then the water they bath also remains here in case they are thirsty. They drink the same water they bath with.
Wait, how were they managing to bath
So
in?
4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So they will be taking the bath over here.
Okay.
And the governor makes his choice from the top.
at a time.
Wow.
And this was done by both the British and the Danes?
Yeah, Danes, yes.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Let's move on. What do we have here?
So this is the mode of the fort. This is how the fort was before the sea destroyed part of it. So 3/4 of the fort had been washed by the sea. You know, slave trade was a trade by barter. They were using brandy, whiskey, mirror, gun and gunpowder in exchange for slaves. And later on, they started using cowrie shells. So 500 of these by female slaves and 300 for the male. The female were more expensive just because over there they produce, they give birth, and they were sold to other plantation owners. And our bandits derived the name from this. This is what we call CD. Yes. So the 10 CD note, we have this on it. Yes. And then we call it Hochi. The Voltarian, we call it Hochi. So when you have a lot of this, it means you are Hochito. It means a rich person.
Right. Hochito.
Yes. Okay. So this is Hochi.
Hochito.
Yes.
How were the British, the colonial masters, the Danes, getting access to cowries? Because I thought cowries were from the sea.
You know, yes, from the sea. Yeah, you know, have to dive.
So they were able to get the cowries to buy the slaves?
Getting it was difficult. You have to dive before getting it.
Interesting.
So getting it was difficult at that time.
No wonder it was a medium of exchange there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a smoking pipe. They used to smoke the tobacco. The gun that they used to capture the slaves is still here.
And these are all the original artifacts.
Yes, artifacts. It's not a replica. And this the stool taken from our chief. As I was telling you a story about the shrine, our people moving from here because of the Danes. And then they left the shrine they worship over here, and then the stool they used to install. You know, the southern side of Ghana, we install our chief.
Yeah.
We stool. When they take the stool from you, it means they destroy you.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That make our people move to Agbozuma.
Okay.
And that's where they celebrate the Soma Tutuzan, Keta Soma Tutuzan. Okay. These are the drum used to waken the slave, to wake them up in the morning.
So who beats the drum?
You know, they selected some of them to do that.
The locals, the indigents. What about is that money?
Yes, that was money used after the cowries.
After the cowries.
That's what we call finnick. Finnick was the money they used after the cowrie shell. That's what our great grandfather used to say. Finnick was the money they used after the cowrie.
So that was just using the arrangement.
That's how they were arranged in the ship. This is how they arranged them. You can see.
Wow.
This, in the lower deck of the ship, the weak, the sick, the dead ones were thrown overboard on the high sea. Because they were in need of strong slaves who can work in a sugarcane and then cotton plantation for them at that time.
So basically, the stories were similar. The stories here are similar to the other
Yeah, you
castles
know,
and
all
forts that
the
were
forts
built.
and castles along from Keta to Beyin. So Fort Apollonia is in Beyin to Ivory Coast. Fort Prinzenstein is in Keta to Togo, Benin, Nigeria. So they were getting a lot of slaves from Togo and they haul Agbada for slave market. Benin, they have Wida, Glapa, Agbome, and Badagry, and Calabar. So all those slaves were brought into the fort by foot, in chains and shackles, barefooted, half naked.
By foot?
Yes, to the fort over here.
From as far as Nigeria and all of that?
Yeah. You know, the whole of Africa, West Africa, had 60 forts and castles. And out of the 60, more than 40 dot the 550-kilometer coastline of Ghana. The 550-kilometer coastline of Ghana. From Keta to Beyin. And Elmina is the oldest and then the biggest in South 1482.
Indeed.
Cape Coast 1665 by the British, and then Christianborg Castle in Osu 1661 by the Danes. So the Danes occupied from Osu to Keta.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes. That's where you can see a lot of mulatto bearing the name of the former governors of the Danish.
Like Van der Poel.
Quist, Citrus, Mam, Andersen, Petersen, Van der Poel, and all that. Yeah. And then the Danish language integrated into our local dialect. They call grapho for the folk they use. They call it grapho. The folk they used to they call it grapho. They call sax for easier. kakalika for cockroach. And a lot of the language. Yes.
Very interesting. Great education you're giving us.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting. Okay.
I realize the Keta fort, or the fort's Prinzenstein, is smaller compared to the other one. Is the smallest?
Yes, you know, a castle is bigger than a fort.
Indeed.
Yes, yeah. So this is a spine of a blue whale.
Spine of a blue whale.
The largest mammal in the world?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
You know, when they are taking the slaves, they know that the entire ship cannot dock. So they use the canoe to take the slaves to the waiting ship. So the whale always capsize the canoe, and our people swim and escape from them. So they kill the whale, and then the bone remained here for almost 3 centuries. So you can see this, a bone.
It's an actual bone?
Yes, this is a bone.
So this is not a stone?
Yes, no stone. This is a bone you are seeing.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, from the
You could
details here, you can see that it's real. Yeah.
actual bone of a blue whale.
Yeah, blue whale.
And how
This
long
is a
has this
bone
been
marrow.
here?
There's a one that is.
Could you please
Almost over
hold
3
this camera for
centuries,
me?
yes.
I'm actually carrying the bone of a blue whale.
Yes.
This is historic for me. It's heavy.
It's very heavy.
Well, it's a,
Say heavy.
it's a life. I say heavy. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. How long have these been here?
Almost over 3 centuries.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm always curious, how do you keep them? Don't they go bad at any point?
That's why they make shade on it and then they preserve it.
Okay.
Yes. And then over here, this is what they used to weigh the slaves to see how strong and fit they are before they buy. So the way the slaves weigh determines their price in those days. So they were weighing them to see how heavy, strong before they buy. And after buying two, they want that slave to maintain that required strength. And when they realize that it loses the required strength, they tie a block at their back, throw them to the sea. Because they were in need of strong slaves who can work in a sugarcane and then cotton plantation for them. So this is what they used to weigh them.
So wicked. Anita, can we weigh you?
Yeah, you can
Let
stand
me
on it.
weigh
No worry
myself.
about it.
Will you be able to
How will you know how much I weigh?
60 kg. You will be 60 kg.
Who's 60 kg? Me?
Yes. Yes.
So for 60
there's
kg,
something-
how much would they sell me
Yes.
for?
Yeah, for 500 calories.
500 calories.
Yes.
Me, 300.
Yes.
Me that I weigh 90 something.
Yeah, 300 pieces of calorie and 500 pieces of calorie.
We are rich.
So, this is what they used to, the governor used to keep his documents, jewelry, and other items. And this is the exact bed the governor was sleeping on.
Wow. Wow.
And this seat he was sitting on. And this is what he used to drink from this. He was drinking from this. He was drinking from this, yes.
This was his office.
Yes. That's the
Wow.
thing. And this
These are some pictures.
pictures of the fort.
Years ago.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
it was
how the
really
fort,
good. It
yes.
was in shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said the sea washed parts of it?
Almost 3/4 of the fort is taken by the sea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, grinding stone.
Yes.
When we making pepper and things here.
Yeah.
Come check it out.
So this is what they used to mill the corn. They don't have corn mill machines, so they rely on this for their corn flour. Even they'll be in chains and shackles before doing the grinding. So they
Wow.
do selected ones to do the cooking. Do you know what happened? And after that, they were all forced into the ship and transported to
So they were
America.
not aware they were going to be transported?
No, no. They were transported. So the new batch also come in and they select among them again.
Wait,
And this is what we call in our language etched.
this is so heavy.
Yes.
How were they using it to grind the pepper and all
There's
of
no
that?
corn mill machine, so they rely on this for the
Because
grinding.
this is so heavy.
Yes, very heavy. So this is what we call etched in our language. So like when you get married, you have to, the woman, and when you divorce, they have to move it. So moving from one man to another, you call it hotel detour.
Hotel detour.
Become hotel detour.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when they buy the slaves were taken across. Those slaves never come back. And our people start calling those from outside, they are from Abrochi, meaning Oblow, Ovachi, meaning they have deceived them by taking them there without coming back.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's the cooking pan they used to cook for them. And this, why they make the fire, is still here.
You see, you
So
can't even
this,
lift it.
The entire of this place is the kitchen.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of food were they making?
The akpala. That's a local staple food.
Okay.
And the abora, beans and all that were...
Wait, the governors liked it? The governor and the colonial masters liked it?
No, they prepared their own food at the top
Right,
there.
but this was for the slaves.
Yes. That's what they select among them to do their cooking.
Okay.
Africa was far civilized before the colonial masters came, just so you know. You can see that.
Okay. So this is the male slave dungeon.
Yes, it's a male slave dungeon.
Okay.
Exactly. So some of them were chained over here.
Wow.
They secured them by two. They will chain one right leg to another left leg. So they used their fingers to scratch both the wall and the floor. They wanted to dig into the building and escape from them. Those are the chains and shackles that were used to chain them.
Okay.
Their neck, their leg in those days. And this is what they used to carry the dead ones. Wow. And these are the hats used by the slave masters. And then the key that they used to unlock the shackles, the key they used to unlock the shackles, still hanging. You know, the slaves were taken to North America, Central America, West Indies, and South America to work for them in tobacco, coffee, cotton, sugar, mining, rice plantation. So between 1650 and 1860, approximately 10 to 50 million enslaved people were transported from Western Africa to America. Most were shipped to West Indies, Central America, and South America. So South America, 5 million, and West Indies, 4.5. Those that survived the journey.
So you mentioned that they were using their nails to try and...
Scratch. Yeah,
is that the reason we have some holes
here?
here?
They wanted to dig into the building and escape from them. In those days too, they realized that some of our forefathers have powers that when they lean on a wall,
they can vanish.
Yes, they wanted to vanish from them. So they put mercury. Mercury? Yes. And those that attempted got stuck. That's why when the sea was destroying the fort, we can see human remains inside the walls of the fort when the sea was destroying the fort. So they made attempt, like how they were using their fingers to scratch, but to dig into the building and escape from them. Wow. So this is one of the dungeons.
This is one of the things I want us to capture. What is written here?
Yes.
Slavery.
Slavery and its lingering consequence
must be kept in our mind so that we are guided away from such devastating incident in our history. Yeah. Dogby James Oklu Faith.
Yes, this is the Dufia of Keta.
Okay.
Yes, the paramount chief of Keta.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wrote that slavery should not happen again.
Absolutely. This is really sad. I know. How can you dig with your hands? It's so sad.
And the fabrics, the materials they used to build at the time was very strong. So I'm wondering how. It's not like the inferior ones we have now where you can try, but imagine.
So this is the
last point of
the last exit. So through this door, they lost contact with family, friends, their name, language, culture, and identity. If they are Kojo, if you are Kojo, you become Johnson.
Godwin.
So your name will be changed.
Anita.
Yes. So through this door, let me open it. But God willing, we shall return.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
I still remain Selom Nambo, please.
I still remain Anita. I will return. I must return.
The material they use oyster shells.
Oh.
The yellow ones were brought from Denmark.
Okay.
They use as a ballast, like when they take slaves and they are coming, they bring more stones that they can use to fortify the walls of the fort. So these yellow ones were brought from Denmark. They use as a ballast, the yellow bricks. And these are local materials used as a bounding material at that time.
Interesting. Because there was no cement.
Yes, there was no cement. Yes. So let's see the last.
Okay. And this looks like a cave.
Yes. So this one of the dungeon.
Is it like a condemned cell of some sort?
This one of the dungeon where the strong men were kept.
Okay.
The strong men were kept over here. That's the only source of air.
Because
and light.
even with the door open, it's really hot in here.
Yes.
So how are they surviving?
So almost half of them died before the journey.
Wow. And how long were they kept here?
They kept about 6 weeks over here.
6 weeks?
Yes. Until the ship arrived and they were transported.
This is so inhumane, honestly. Because
This is the only point of ventilation.
Yes.
I know.
That's the only source of light and ventilation. So they said about 30 slaves over here.
30 here.
You know, as I was telling you, they were getting a lot from Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and other parts of Gold Coast, now Ghana.
Right.
So from Accra to Nigeria, it's called Slave Coast. From Accra to Azim, Gold Coast, Ivory Coast. So ivory, gold, and slaves.
wow. Whew.
So good.
So it's hot. Just some few seconds here
Or two here.
and we're sweating. So you can imagine how it was like
Dehydrated.
very dehydrated.
So the sea have destroyed 3/4 of the fort.
So it was extending
Yeah, up to where the sea is.
sea is
Okay.
Yeah, 3/4 is taken by the sea.
Okay.
Yes.
Whew.
beautiful.
Wow.
Well, what an education, Anita. I mean, again, like what we read inside, I think that we need to remember things like this. We know that we talk about it every time, but it's
Yeah.
important for us to remember that slave trade existed and it should never be repeated. And even for us as Africans, we should remember, some of us are trying to jackbar, run away, you know. It's good, but remember where you're coming from and remember what's happened before and make sure that we do not let something like this ever repeat itself. This is so emotional and educational for me. Thank you, Ms. Okoye.
And I also think that every now and then, people who are from this part of the world or this part of the country, even if you're not from here, sometimes visit these tourist sites, get some history and insight into some of the things that happened in the past. It will also shape your way of thinking so you get educated on some of these things. Well, that is what we're doing on the afternoon show, taking you around Ghana and bringing you what happened in the past in terms of history. Well, let's continue with our tour, Godwin.
Oh, I thought we were done.
No,
Let's go.
yeah. Let's.
I want to auction Anita.
He wants to auction me for $1 billion. $1 billion.
The finest gentleman.
Whew, the sand is.
So they use the thickness of the walls
Okay.
so thick that they fill it with the clay
Okay.
to save us a soundproof. Like when they are in and they are screaming, it will not be here outside.
Where were they getting the clay from?
From our Keta lagoon over
Okay.
here. Yeah, you know Keta lagoon. Keta lie between the sea and then the lagoon.
Okay.
That's when our ancestors were coming. They saw a heap of sand over here. So they named the town Keta, meaning the top of the sand.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of deposits of clay. So that's what used to
But looks like
construct
the
part
clay,
of
the clay
fort.
is also quite strong because after so many years, it's still solid.
Yeah.
And we can see right here, you know, the stones and it doesn't look like it's falling off anytime soon. Despite the sea washing away some parts of the fort.
And I was today years old when I learned that clay actually is soundproof. It can actually stop sound. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I think when you're building, you need to put some clay, you know, into your materials.
bedroom,
Yeah, especially your bedroom.
Let's manage and see the top. Yeah. So the sea,
I know.
So the sea have taken the staircase. So we are climbing from here to the top.
Oh,
Yes. So let's go.
I love it. Ma'am, after you.
Dad, after you.
There you go.
Hey.
Good. Got you, don't worry.
Hey. How do God.
Yes, you're being adventurous right now.
I have a phobia for heights.
So you're not flying again?
It's different when
Not
I'm
that kind of
flying.
height,
Yeah. This is not what we signed up for, but
Wow, I thought we were done.
yeah.
So we are in the top of the fort.
Okay.
This is where the governor of the fort lives.
Oh.
Yes, he have the offices and residence. So he entirely occupied the top of the fort. So this the cannon they used to defend the fort against attack. You know, sometimes people try to attack to rescue people that were kept over here. Their family and friends that were kept over here. So that's why they surrounded the fort. Although Europeans were fighting among themselves for territory. So the cannon protect their trade against attack.
Wow.
Both local and foreign.
Let's see how the cannon looks like.
You know, Mr. Clue?
Yeah.
Hey. No.
So Clue, in movies, I'll see that they'll put a ball, a cannon
Yeah,
ball.
yes. So they will make a fire over here. There's a hole over here.
Right.
Okay.
And then they will make fire over here. And the cannon balls. Yeah, and then, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
This. Don't try this.
That's how it
It's-
functions.
It's so heavy.
Yes, very heavy.
Wow.
This metal is still strong.
Yeah, so strong, yes.
A lot of metal styles.
So we stand a lot of resistance, weathering. Yes. So we have
So
come
where
to-
we came from in terms of climbing, that's the same way we have to go
yes,
to
yes.
go down.
The sea have taken the staircase.
Oh, okay.
The sea have destroyed.
Okay. Okay.
So we have come to
Okay.
the end of the tour.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Oklu.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
you so
I
much.
thought
So
there was
thanks for
another way
coming.
to go down, but
The same way up is the same way down.
Yes, yes.
Please tell her
Mr.
that.
Oklu, so can't we build a staircase?
Yes, we can.
We can build a
The
staircase.
staircase takes away from the original.
Yeah, yes,
We
yes.
get it, but
That's what-
for my sake.
Yes.
For my
yeah,
sake.
thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll take some pictures
Yes.
and then put it on the gram. We have returned.
Yes, we are back home.
We
Back
have returned.
to Keta, the top of the sand. This is home. Thank you very much, Mr. Oklu.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. Thank you.
so much. Thank you.
Make sure you return. Make sure you come and visit Fort Prinzenstein here in Keta. Kind courtesy, the afternoon show.
The afternoon show.
And that is how we wrap our tour of Fort Prinzenstein here in Keta. It's been very educational, very fun. Anita?
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. Quite emotional at some point as well. And so this is where we wrap up and move on to other things right here in the Volta region. You're still watching the afternoon show. We'll bring you more sights and sounds from the Volta region. Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Yanko!